It's a beautiful village, nestled in the mountains, near the Hudson Strait. Salouet is the second most remote village in northern Quebec, accessible only by plane. It is home to nearly 1,700 people. Late October 2013. Winter has already settled in. A pickup truck is slowly winding its way along the road to the airport. Inside, 2 young Inuit girls, aged 15 and 16. The driver is a 27-year-old white man. The pickup leaves the airport road and heads toward the village dump. Night is falling. Salouet suddenly seems far away. The truck drives through the litter, then comes to a stop. The silence is deafening. Kathy Papigatuk wanted to share in her words what happened that night. She's agreed that we tell you her name and hear her voice, but she asked that we blur her face.
I didn't really remember it, but I remember being half naked.
Her sister Kaylin is in the back seat, helpless.
I was trying to pull her out, but I couldn't, so I just cried. I couldn't move.
I went to nursing first, to a hospital, then I went to go to station, police station. I think his name is Daniel.
There is Kathy, and there are many others. Inuit women abused by white men who have come north to work. Women who have the courage and every reason in the world to speak one powerful word. Kathy Papigatuk shows us her room where her 3-month-old baby sleeps peacefully. Having your own room is a luxury in Nunavik. It's her refuge.
My grandma's, my mother's mother.
Her life has changed since her baby boy was born. She no longer drinks or smokes marijuana.
Why it was important to talk to us? Because you decide to talk publicly about it.
It's better to talk it out, to release the thoughtness of the anger that inside. It's like living in the past again. So it's better to talk.
In 2013, Kathy Papigatuk is 15 years old. She's walking the streets of Salouet with her sister Kaylin. She's had a bit too much to drink. A construction worker stops and invites them into his truck to go for a ride.
Let's go for a ride. All right, come on in. All right.
He was nice. The first time that we saw him, and then started to talk. He was one to have a friend, but he was turned out to be a monster. I got raped in the car.
Hey, come on.
It happened so fast, and I still things to talk, but worst nightmare.
It's in her language, Inuktitut, that Kathy recounts what happened that night. The worker then takes them back to the village and pushes them out of the truck.
What did he say?
Don't tell anybody. It's about private.
A few days later, Kathy files a complaint at the Salouet police station. Years later, in 2017, she would come face to face with her abuser in court. A difficult but decisive moment.
I was kind of hiding because I was nervous that when he saw my face, he wasn't happy to see me. And I mean, we were both happy to see each other. Mm-hmm. And I was hiding near to my mother.
Daniel Bilodeau pleaded guilty to a count of sexual assault on a minor. In his version of events, Kathy told him she was 20 years old. He also says she was the one who came on to him and that there was no penetration. In August 2017, Bilodeau is sentenced to 240 days in prison. According to the prosecutor, the sentence is appropriate.
Quand j'ai rencontré la victime, je peux vous garantir que la jeune fille ne semble pas à ce moment-là, tout le moins peut-être dans le futur, elle aura des conséquences plus importantes, ne semble pas avoir des conséquences tellement importantes. C'est des jeunes filles qui semblaient faire ça là, avec les gens de la construction là, dans la communauté ici. Ce serait arrivé à plus d'une reprise.
Lawyer Alain Arsenault participated in the inquiry into missing and murdered Indigenous women. He knows the issues well. To him, the prosecutor's comments are troubling.
À écouter la représentation des faits, on se demande si ce n'est pas l'agresseur qui est la victime. On semble, dans la présentation des faits par la couronne, réduire énormément les faits d'agression. Comme on peut même se demander s'il y en a eu une agression. Alors, pourquoi 7 mois? Pourquoi a-t-il plaidé coupable?
In light of the prosecutor's statement, presiding judge Jean-Pierre Gervais expresses a certain unease.
Je suis un petit peu mal à l'aise avec qu'on me dise que, de prime abord, il ne semble pas y avoir de conséquences dramatiques.
Later, the judge clarifies his statement.
Je ne reproche à personne de dire qu'il n'y a pas de conséquences parce qu'on est face à des jeunes filles qui vivent dans une culture qui est plus libertine ou qui est plus laxiste. On se retrouve dans une société qui, à plusieurs égards, est souvent dysfonctionnelle.
Ce n'est pas une société libertine. Les gens sont des victimes d'agressions sexuelles. Les femmes, à 75 %, ça n'en fait pas des libertines. C'est des victimes.
Vous payez effectivement un prix qui est lourd pour un moment qui a été court, parce que c'est le genre de situation qu'on doit éviter, qu'on doit dénoncer, qu'on doit éviter qu'ils se produisent. Une jeune fille de 15 ans, ça demeure que c'est pas une adulte. Ça demeure que c'est une adolescente.
Daniel Bilodeau is now listed on the sex offender registry and will remain there for 10 years. He was supposed to be in a rehabilitation center, but when we went there, employees hadn't seen him for 2 days. We inquired into his current whereabouts, but were told that information is confidential.
Daniel Bilodeau? Oui. Il n'est plus ici?
Non.
Comment ça? Il n'est plus...
Il n'est pas rentré hier.
We contacted his former employer, Jolie Construction. They weren't aware of their former employee's conduct. They refused our request for an interview. The company states that employees must follow clear guidelines while working in Nunavik and that alcohol consumption is prohibited. After the incident, Kathy's sister left Salouet. Kaylin now lives in Montreal, where she's looking for work. Concrete subway tunnels have replaced the wide open spaces of the north.
Why are you in Montreal right now?
It's too many bad things happen up north.
Why do you want to talk?
I wanted to help people, but I don't know where to start.
Sexual assault rates in Nunavik are alarming. According to 2017 statistics provided by Kativik Regional Police, 220 cases involve minors and 226 involve adults, for a population of just over 12,000. 1 in 3 women experienced sexual assault as a child. These are only the reported incidents. Most are not. The majority of abusers are Inuit. Past trauma, alcohol and drug abuse, as well as overcrowded homes all contribute to this sad reality.
Les signatures de rape kit, là,
Ah oui.
moi, j'en signe à tous les jours, ou pratiquement à tous les jours. On parle de 220, là, c'est comme 1 ou 2 jours, là, même, hein, plus que ça. Là.
OK.
Hein?
OK.
Ce ne sont pas que des résidents, ce ne sont pas que des Inuits là, qui sont les auteurs de ces crimes-là. Il y a des Blancs également.
Michel Martin is the Nunavik chief of police. He supervises security for the 14 villages in the region, 1/3 of Quebec's territory. His 3-year mandate has just come to an end. The veteran police chief came out of retirement to lend a hand in the north. According to him, certain workers who come to Nunavik exploit the vulnerable.
Ce qui est ciblé souvent, c'est les jeunes filles. J'ai déjà travaillé pour les Nations unies, on le voit dans le cadre des opérations à l'international, mais c'est la même chose ici au Québec, ou probablement au Canada, au Nunavut. Des gens qui viennent pour des courtes périodes, milieu isolé, opportunités peut-être plus faciles, moins de compétition et peut-être une clientèle plus vulnérable. Surtout en se faisant offrir des cadeaux, mais en échange d'alcool ou de drogue, ça devient un moyen là, de les attirer et de profiter de ces jeunes femmes-là.
Alcohol dulls the pain, the despair. It also dulls the memory. Only 3 villages allow the open sale of alcohol. In the other 11, you need a permit to import it. Still, alcohol is everywhere.
C'est méchant là, d'arriver ici, par exemple, tu arrives avec ton coffre d'outils, tu as un autre coffre plein de bouteilles de boissons, tu t'en viens ici peut-être avec des intentions qui sont peut-être pas saines.
Jean-Mathieu Lafleur was a police officer for 14 years in Nunavik. He left the force in 2016. He still remembers one of his first calls to a construction camp. A man in his 40s had lured a 14-year-old girl into his room.
Monsieur était visiblement très intoxiqué.
Police!
Dans tout le brasse camarade, on s'est retrouvés à passer au travers certains murs. Visiblement, il s'était passé quelque chose.
The young girl ran away when police arrived. No one ever filed a complaint.
J'ai jamais été capable d'amasser de la preuve dans ce dossier-là, malheureusement, parce que j'ai jamais été capable d'avoir aucune collaboration. Le superviseur, à l'époque, me dit qu'il y avait un genre de règle avec les compagnies de construction, que l'individu allait être mis sur le prochain avion et quitter le village. Fait que pour ce qui est d'un possible dossier criminel, ça s'est arrêté là, malheureusement.
It was a scene that repeated itself.
Oui, je l'ai vu, oui, à Provon-des-Touques. On a dû intervenir directement à l'hôtel de la coop pour sortir des jeunes filles intoxiquées où il y avait du grabuge, où des jeunes filles étaient intoxiquées dans des chambres de l'hôtel avec des gens de la construction.
Jane Clements works in the bar at the Kuujjuaq Inn near the Ungava coast.
It's very, very difficult. Like when men come here for the summer, for temporary, and they think they could just take a girl home from the bar and then just ditch them onto the streets after doing whatever they had to do. And I've seen that many times. When I was single, they used to try to take advantage, try to ask me to follow them home after the bar.
Jenny Papigatuk is originally from Salouet. Today, she lives in the Laurentians with her 3 children. This accomplished artist was once a young teenager hanging around construction workers. Jenny prefers not to face our camera. It's too difficult. She still feels the shame.
I don't mind if I'm gonna get judged or if I'm gonna be looked down. I did this to protect our children, our young girls, and to prevent the same thing that happened to many of us.
Every summer, she would wait for the arrival of the workers.
We would know when they're coming because it's every season, and there's not really many men that are not your family in North. So these men would come and they would bring alcohol, and then we'd stay, then we would feel like, wow, he chose me.
Do they pick you up?
Sometimes they don't even wait to go to the trailer. That's disgusting.
She never filed a complaint. At 15, she thought she was consenting. It took her a long time to realize the damage that had been done.
But now, if girls can know that is not right, they should press charge, or they should let people know that those people are doing that.
Warmer days mark the opening of construction season in Nunavik. The sound of hammers resonates in most of the 14 villages. Repairs, renovations, the construction of new housing, the needs are many. The arrival of the cargo ship signals the start of all the activity.
Le mois de juin jusqu'au mois de novembre, c'est rock and roll dans le village pour la construction.
We meet Jean-Jacques Morissette in the new Salouet landholding building. It's the landholding that issues permits to construction companies. Last July, 4 companies and their subcontractors shared the work. Over 100 workers flew into town. We're told all of them must follow a code of conduct, nothing like it was 20 years ago.
Vous disiez, il y a 20 ans, c'était le free-for-all.
Oui, dans le temps, il y avait des contracteurs qui apportent des containers de boissons dans la Nord. Dans 87, quand j'étais arrivé ici, il y avait des contracteurs comme ça. C'est comme un porte ouvert, justement. À la soir, tu vois les femmes, ils rentrent, sont corrects, puis 1-2 heures après, ils sortent, puis ils sont sous.
Today, companies like Mackovic Construction have very strict rules.
T'as pas le droit d'apporter de boissons, t'as pas le droit d'avoir une relation avec une femme dans le village. Comme ça, on essaie de faire la même chose avec des autres compagnies.
Mackovic refused to show us its code of conduct. So did the other major companies working in Nunavik: Pepin Fortin, Laval Fortin Adams, FCNQ Construction. Only WSP sent us its guidelines. All of these companies declined our requests for interviews. For the Salouet landholding, if a company breaks the rules, its permit is withdrawn. That's what happened to EDC North.
Il laisse toutes ses vidanges partout. Il sort avec des femmes inuites dans les villages. Il apporte des femmes de village dans le sud. Il fait tout sous. Il rapporte puis il dit « Je suis tanné de toi, tu vas rester là. »
C'est vous qui avez dit dehors?
Oui, ben c'est moi qui ai dit à la board qu'il y avait des plaintes dans des autres villages. Puis on n'a pas donné un permis pour travailler ici.
We contacted the president of EDC North, Stéphane Plante. He refused to answer our questions regarding the behavior of some of his employees. The company went bankrupt in 2017. 3 years ago, another company, Genevar Construction, was also drawing unwanted attention in Nunavik. In the small village of Quaktak, some of its workers had trashed the construction camp during a drunken party. We reached Adami Kalula and Bertha Adams in Quaktak, owners of the camp rented by Genevar Construction.
Ils ont cassé mon camp, cassé les fenêtres, les murs, parce que les autres, ils prennent coup tout le temps.
Il y avait une femme qui a marché tout nu dans tout le camp. Il y avait quelques femmes qui sortaient 18, puis il y avait d'autres femmes qui sont 17 ou 16, puis ils ont triché leur âge à les gars. The guys took advantage of the girls.
The police were called in. We spoke to Genevar Construction. They confirmed the incident. They say disciplinary measures were taken with some employees and others were fired. They claim there were no minors on the premises. All the women we spoke to had something to say about workers who come north. Ava Abraham has been living in Salouet for 26 years.
I see that every year. Like even young women, young teenagers, they get misled concerning alcohol. I warn my girls not to be around construction men because I don't want them to get hurt.
As was her eldest daughter.
My oldest daughter got invited last year, and I don't know if she had sex with those men, but a couple of days later I found out that she was at our construction camp. After she was there, she was drunk the whole summer. I didn't see her much last year.
How old is she?
28.
Ça peut être vu comme des cas isolés, mais c'est des cas isolés qui se répètent assez souvent. Hein? Est-ce que ça demeure des cas isolés? Je pense pas.
Kalusi Saviajuk is mayor of Salouet. He's conscious of the damage that certain workers do in his community, and he'd like to put a stop to it.
So we urge the construction or anyone who moved to Salouet, work here for many days, many months. We just hope that they are going to do good, be a good deed here, and do good stuff. Just concentrate on their work, not on people of Salouet or communities or little girls.
Est-ce que ça concerne que les travailleurs de la construction?
Non. On a eu des gens des centres de santé, des gens de la maintenance des différentes organisations du Nunavik. On a eu des interventions avec des membres du gouvernement régional, la commission scolaire.
Pavernituk is the third largest village in Nunavik. Alexandre Petit is 30 years old and works at the grocery store. He often invites very young co-workers home with him. His wife is there, but she goes to bed early. Once alone, Petit gives his young guests alcohol in exchange for sexual favors. His victims were 14 and 15 at the time. The abuse went on for 6 months. The two teenage girls filed a complaint. Petit was charged with sexual assault and sexual contact on 2 minors. He faced a possible 14-year prison sentence. In June 2017, charges of sexual assault were dropped. Petit pleaded guilty in Gatineau to the reduced charges of sexual contact and assault with a weapon.
Monsieur a donné un petit coup sur les fesses de madame avec un balai. La victime, qui avait 15 ans à l'époque, était présente. À un certain moment, monsieur a touché ses fesses et ses seins.
Vous reconnaissez ces faits-là, monsieur? Oui.
Alors, très bien. L'accusé est déclaré coupable.
He was sentenced to 90 days in jail to be served on weekends. Today, he is free. But just like Kathy's abuser, his name is now on the sex offenders registry for a period of 10 years.
Les drogués puis les rendre en état d'ébriété avancé fait en sorte que la mémoire, elle est moins là, c'est moins précis dans le témoignage, c'est plus confus. Ça aide le prédateur, finalement, à s'en sortir.
Kuujjuaq, near the Ungava coast. In 2016, a kitchen employee at the Tulatavik Health Center was arrested. Van Jo Do, 34, was charged with sexual assault on 2 women, aged 17 and 18 years old. He didn't show up in court and fled Nunavik. An arrest warrant was issued against him in August 2017. 5 months later, in January, he was arrested by Montreal police. He was again released at a hearing after putting up $200 bail. His trial is scheduled for July. He was put under house arrest in Montreal, but when we visited his apartment, there was no one living there. We have since learned that Van Jo Do was arrested in Montreal on February 24th and faces new charges of sexual assault on a minor and kidnapping.
Que ce soit des sujets d'ordre sexuel, que ce soit les taux de suicide, que ce soit les problèmes d'alcool, que ce soit les problèmes de violence, peu de personnes au Sud vont suivre malheureusement ce qui se passe dans le nord du Québec. C'est loin. Les réseaux d'information sont moins présents. Donc, l'information ne chemine pas toujours vers le sud.
Mais c'est chez nous.
Oui, mais...
On est au Québec.
Oui, mais je peux vous dire, moi, par connaissance personnelle, qu'il y a des événements d'ordre extrêmement majeurs qui se produisent dans le Grand Nord, et le même événement se produirait dans une grande ville au sud. Ça ferait la une pendant une semaine de temps. Mais ici, tu n'entends pas parler du tout.
Could Nunavik be a playground for deviants?
Est-ce que ça pourrait être un terreau fertile pour des réseaux pédophiles? Absolument.
In December 2017, the Sûreté du Québec's Special Task Force targeting the sexual exploitation of children online arrested 29-year-old Predrag Remich in Sherbrooke. The man faces charges of possession and distribution of child pornography. Remich worked for a time at the Salouet Youth Rehabilitation Center. Police appealed to the public in the hope of gathering more information on him, without success.
C'est pas un western town des années 1800, là. On est dans le 21st century, puis on a tous les droits de la personne. Il y a personne droit de me toucher, ni personne d'autre. Puis si t'as pas la loi pour vous baquer, pour vous aider, ça continue. Puis quand les femmes sont peur de la police, d'aller parler à la police, ça devient beaucoup plus difficile.
Est-ce que les femmes ne sont pas protégées de la même manière ici?
Non. Non, parce que les polices aussi, ils viennent ici. La police aussi, il fait des choses comme ça. Parce que c'est des jeunes qui viennent ici puis ils pensent comme ça. C'est pas juste des contracteurs. Il y a beaucoup du monde qui fait ça.
Nunavik Police Chief Michel Martin confirms that there are currently police officers under investigation.
La police n'est pas exemptée là, de plaintes vis-à-vis certains policiers pour des comportements d'ordre sexuel.
De policiers?
Oui.
OK. Avec des mineurs?
Non.
OK. Mais de femmes Inuit?
Oui.
OK. Est-ce que vous savez le nombre de cas en ce moment?
Il y en a 2.
The reality of young girls and women in Nunavik is radically different from life in the South. Jenny Puxley, an avid caribou hunter, completed her studies in the South and now works with youth in the North.
It's the same province, but it's like we live in another country. Once you go on that plane and you arrive here, it's like a different country. We don't get the same resources as you guys do. Girls are less respected here. You can demand for respect, but There are a lot of girls who do not get respect, who are not treated respect, and some girls who don't even know what respect is.
This devoted grandmother playing with her grandson is Annie Alaku. As an elder, she helps carry the weight of the village of Salouet on her shoulders. Born in an igloo and in poverty, she completed a degree in education and social work at McGill University. In the 1990s, she was principal in the village school when she learned that 11 little girls had been sexually molested by the school bus driver, an Inuk. When she confronted him, he simply replied that it was part of Inuit culture. Since that moment, Annie Alaku has dedicated her life to prevention and encourages victims to report sexual assault. It's a constant battle. Annie Alaku confided that she too was abused by a white man. Despite all the years gone by, the pain is still intense.
When I was 16.
It was a worker from the south?
He was a pilot. Yeah.
How it happened?
I follow my friend. She has a boyfriend, the manager of the Hudson's Bay Company. So she asked me to go visit with her. I didn't know there was a man, another man.
He was a white man from the south? What happened after that?
He raped me. I hid it for many years.
That's why you're working to prevent?
Yeah. Until I die.
Lizzie Alupa is a prevention agent with the Katavik Regional Police Force. She's also a pillar for women in Nunavik.
It's dangerous to be a girl here. Do you agree with that?
Yes. Especially if, like some people that are not from the community, or people hear that we are drunks, we are drug addicts, we neglect our children. We leave our children alone at home. A lot of people know that by now. So I think some people who come up feel free and think that nobody will ever hear about what they do. Like very small communities, it could happen very easily. I know years ago when hydro men used to roam the streets looking for women, and some had to be dismissed because of their activities.
Lizzie Alupa is one of the women responsible for the Good Touch, Bad Touch program, which teaches children to denounce inappropriate behavior.
The more I talked about it, the more I start to realize we have to choose. Do we stay quiet like we have always been, or do we start talking about it and get people to start talking about it too? Because up here, sexual abuse is the biggest cause of suicides. I really believe that, along with the team members that I work with.
To speak out publicly remains difficult, and it's not always encouraged in Nunavik. We met one of Nunavik's young leaders. She wanted to encourage women to denounce the behavior of certain workers. Her employer ordered her to keep quiet or possibly lose her job. Still, she sent us this message.
Plusieurs organisations et leaders empêchent les gens de partager leurs expériences et de proposer des solutions. En agissant de la sorte, ils permettent aux comportements négatifs de perdurer dans notre région.
A teacher in Saluit wanted to speak out about the harassment her young students suffered at the hands of certain construction workers. The Kativik School Board refused to grant her permission to speak, and no one from the board would accept our interview request. Every summer, young teenage girls come spend a few weeks in this camp on the other side of the inlet. Here, elders from the village share with them certain values and traditions.
Inogata, inotibut, sokalautimalangimat, inogutibut. Inogutibut sokalautimalangimat, okaviko neolgalorta, inotibutana senolagam, inotingap. Obikani, obikapinapnapini, sitakat. There
is a way out, really. But it's not always available for everyone. And I was very fortunate enough to have met my friend. She was a nurse in Saint Louis. She started to make me realize it's not right.
Are you proud to be an Inuit girl?
Yes.
Why?
Because even through all the hardships that we have, we're resilient, we're strong, we fight no matter what. Even though we are treated like dogs sometimes, we still come out strong.
Are you proud to be an Inuit woman?
1,000 times, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.